Have you ever felt overwhelmed by negative thoughts that seem to cloud your mind? Do you find yourself stuck in a cycle of self-doubt and frustration, unable to break free? What if there was a simple way to release all that negativity and create space for peace and positivity in your life? Imagine waking up every day with a calm and clear mind, free from the burdens of negativity. Let's consider this example. Have you ever noticed how, after a long day, your mind feels heavy with all the stress and worries you've accumulated throughout the day? What if, instead of carrying that weight, you could simply let go and start fresh, each moment as it comes? In Buddhism, this concept of letting go is central to finding peace and clarity. It's about realizing that your mind doesn't have to be a prison of negative thoughts. Welcome to Wisdom Woven. In this video, we'll explore how you can remove negativity from your mind and bring in the light of clarity and peace. Following the teachings of Buddhism, you'll discover simple, yet powerful techniques to free your mind from harmful thoughts and find a sense of inner calm. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% of people subscribe. So please, like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel now. It helps us bring more valuable content to you, and by subscribing, you'll always be part of this wonderful journey to peace and wisdom. In this video, we'll take you step by step through the process of understanding and removing negative thoughts. You don't need to struggle with negativity any longer. By the end, you'll have the tools to create a positive and peaceful mindset that lasts. Stay tuned as we dive into the powerful practices that can transform your mind and life. Understanding the roots of negativity. When we sit in silence and observe the mind, we often find that it is filled with a storm of thoughts. Some of these thoughts bring us peace, while others make us uneasy. But have you ever wondered where these troubling thoughts come from? Why do certain ideas and feelings make us unhappy, while others bring us joy? Negativity does not come from outside of us. It arises from within. It is born from the way we perceive the world around us. When our mind is clouded by past experiences, judgments, or fears, negativity finds a home. It often stems from a sense of attachment, an attachment to outcomes, to people, or to material possessions. The more we cling to these things, the more we invite suffering into our lives. In Buddhism, we are taught that suffering arises from craving and attachment. We crave things to be a certain way, and when reality does not align with our desires, we experience frustration and negativity. These attachments are not just to physical things. They can also be to beliefs, expectations, or the way we see ourselves. If we believe we are not good enough, or that life should always be perfect, we are setting ourselves up for disappointment and negativity. The first step in removing negativity is to understand this root cause. It's important to recognize that negativity is not something that exists on its own, but rather something that arises due to our attachments and cravings. It is not our true nature. Just like a cloud in the sky, negativity is temporary. It will pass if we allow it to. By understanding the impermanence of these feelings, we can begin to let go of them. Think of your mind as a clear sky. At times, clouds may appear, but just as clouds move and dissipate, so too can negative thoughts. The key is not to hold on to them. In the same way that we do not chase after clouds, we should not chase after negative thoughts. We simply allow them to pass without attachment or judgment. One way to start understanding the roots of negativity is through mindfulness. Mindfulness helps us observe our thoughts without getting entangled in them. When we are mindful, we are aware of the present moment, and we can see our thoughts as they arise. Instead of reacting to them or judging them, we can simply watch them pass by like clouds in the sky. Another important concept in Buddhism is dukkha, the term for suffering. We are all born with the potential for happiness, but because of our attachments and desires, we often experience suffering. This suffering is not something to be feared. It is a natural part of life. When we acknowledge it, we can learn from it and begin to free ourselves from its grip. When we hold on to negative thoughts, they begin to shape our perception of reality. We see the world through the lens of fear, anger, or frustration. We may become convinced that things will never get better, that we are stuck in a cycle of negativity. But this is not true. The world is constantly changing, and so are we. By releasing our attachments and allowing ourselves to embrace the flow of life, we can experience freedom from negativity. To better understand this, imagine you are holding a rock in your hand. The rock represents your attachments, your negative thoughts, your fears. The longer you hold the rock, the heavier it becomes. But if you decide to let it go, you will feel lighter, freer. The same is true for negativity. When you release it, you make space for peace, joy, and clarity to enter your life. As we continue on this journey of self-awareness, it is essential to recognize that negativity is not our enemy. It is simply a sign that we are holding on to something that may no longer serve us. Just like a gardener removes weeds to allow plants to grow, we must remove the weeds of negative thoughts to make room for the flowers of positivity. In Buddhism, the practice of non-attachment is essential. Non-attachment does not mean detachment or indifference. It means letting go of the need to control everything. It means allowing things to come and go without clinging to them. When we practice non-attachment, we learn to accept life as it is, without judgment. This acceptance is the key to removing negativity. One way to practice non-attachment is to reflect on the impermanence of life. Everything is temporary: our thoughts, emotions, and even the situations we find ourselves in. When we recognize this truth, we can begin to loosen our grip on the things we hold most tightly. We can allow ourselves to be more flexible and open to the changes life brings. Another powerful teaching from Buddhism is the concept of right view. Right view is the understanding that everything is interconnected and that nothing is fixed. When we cultivate a right view of the world, we see that all things are in constant flux. Our negative thoughts are just as impermanent as our positive ones. They are not permanent aspects of who we are, but fleeting moments that arise and pass away. Incorporating these teachings into our daily lives can help us begin to break free from the cycle of negativity. We can start by simply observing our thoughts and recognizing when negativity arises. Instead of reacting to it, we can choose to let it go, knowing that it will pass. With practice, we begin to create more space for peace, joy, and clarity to enter our minds and hearts. One practical exercise to start with is to practice letting go in small moments throughout the day. When you feel tension building in your body or mind, take a moment to stop and breathe. Inhale deeply, and as you exhale, imagine releasing all the negativity you are holding. Picture it leaving your body and mind, like smoke disappearing into the air. This simple practice can help you begin to create more space for peace in your life. As we deepen our understanding of the roots of negativity, we realize that it is not something we need to fight against. Rather, it is something we can simply release. The more we practice letting go, the less power negativity has over us. And the more we embrace the present moment, the more we invite peace into our lives. Remember, negativity is not a permanent part of you. It is just a passing cloud in the vast sky of your mind. By understanding its root causes and practicing mindfulness, non-attachment, and right view, you can begin to transform your relationship with negativity. You can start to see it for what it truly is: an impermanent, fleeting thought that has no power over you unless you give it power. As you move forward on this path, know that you are not alone. All of us experience negative thoughts at times, but it is through our practice and understanding that we can free ourselves from them. The journey may not always be easy, but with patience and dedication, you will find that the mind becomes clearer and peace begins to settle in. So, take a moment today to reflect on your thoughts. What attachments are you holding on to? What cravings are causing negativity in your life? And most importantly, are you ready to let them go and embrace the freedom that comes with a clear mind? The choice is yours. Mindfulness, the key to awareness. In the quiet stillness of the mind, there is clarity. The noise of the world fades away, and what remains is the gentle whisper of truth. To access this clarity, we must first understand mindfulness. But what is mindfulness truly? It is not simply a technique or a practice. It is the art of being fully aware in the present moment, without distraction or judgment. Imagine sitting under a tree, feeling the breeze against your skin, hearing the rustle of the leaves. In that moment, everything becomes clear. You are not thinking about the past, nor worrying about the future. You are simply here, now. This is mindfulness, complete presence in the present. This is the foundation on which we begin to understand how to clear our minds of negativity. When we practice mindfulness, We cultivate awareness of everything around us and within us. We learn to observe our thoughts without becoming attached to them. Just as clouds float by in the sky, so too do our thoughts pass through our minds. We do not grab onto them or judge them. We simply let them pass, and in doing so, we free ourselves from the weight they may carry. Mindfulness is the antidote to the constant chatter of the mind. When we stop reacting to every thought that arises, we begin to see things as they truly are. The more we practice mindfulness, the more we start to notice the subtle ways negativity creeps into our thoughts. It could be a judgment about ourselves or others, or perhaps a fear of something that hasn't even happened yet. But in mindfulness, we simply notice it. We don't need to change it right away. Just noticing it is enough. And in that noticing, we create space for something new to emerge. When we are mindful, we stop identifying with our thoughts. For example, you might think, "I'm not good enough," or "I can't do this." When you are mindful, you realize that these are just thoughts. They don't define you. They come and go, like waves on the ocean. You are not the thoughts that come into your mind. You are the awareness that observes them. This realization is powerful. It allows you to separate yourself from the negativity that may have taken root. Let's look at how this works in daily life. Consider the moments when you feel stressed or anxious. Perhaps it's before a big presentation at work or during a difficult conversation with someone you care about. In these moments, your mind races, filling with worries and doubts. What if you could stop for a moment, take a deep breath, and observe those thoughts without getting swept away by them? This is mindfulness at work. In Buddhism, mindfulness is often described as right mindfulness. It's a key part of the Noble Eightfold Path, a guide to living a life of peace and wisdom. Right mindfulness doesn't mean you will never have negative thoughts, but it means you will be aware of them without becoming consumed by them. You will see them for what they are: fleeting, impermanent, and ultimately not worthy of your attachment. To practice mindfulness, start by simply paying attention to your breath. Notice how it feels to inhale and exhale. The breath is always with you, and it can anchor you in the present moment. When your mind begins to wander, gently bring your focus back to the breath. This simple practice helps you stay rooted in the present, preventing your thoughts from spiraling into negativity. You can also practice mindfulness in your daily activities. Whether you're eating, walking, or even washing dishes, bring your full attention to the task at hand. Notice the sensations, the sounds, the smells, the textures. Let go of everything else. In these moments of mindfulness, you are present, and in that presence, you will find peace. Mindfulness also teaches us to be kind to ourselves. When negative thoughts arise, instead of criticizing yourself for having them, simply acknowledge them. "Ah, I see this thought," you might say. "It's okay. It's just a thought." By treating yourself with kindness, you allow the negativity to dissolve naturally, without resistance. The more you practice this gentle awareness, the easier it becomes to release negativity as it arises. You may wonder, how does mindfulness help in removing negativity from the mind? The answer lies in how we respond to our thoughts. In the past, we may have reacted to our negative thoughts with more negativity, self-criticism, judgment, or even anger. But mindfulness invites us to respond with acceptance. It allows us to see negativity as temporary, not something that has to define us. It is like a storm that passes. You are the sky, not the storm. And once the storm clears, the sky is peaceful again. There is a saying in Buddhism, "The mind is everything. What you think, you become." Mindfulness helps you become aware of your thoughts, and in doing so, you take control of your mind. You choose which thoughts to nurture and which to let go of. In the beginning, this might seem challenging. Negative thoughts can feel overwhelming, like they have a life of their own. But over time, with consistent mindfulness practice, you will begin to see that you are not at the mercy of your thoughts. You have the power to change your relationship with them. One of the most beautiful things about mindfulness is that it brings you into harmony with your surroundings. As you become more aware, you begin to appreciate the beauty in everyday life. You notice the small things, the way the sunlight filters through the trees, the sound of birds singing in the morning, the warmth of a loved one's touch. These simple moments, which might have passed unnoticed before, are now seen with fresh eyes. And in this seeing, negativity begins to fade away. replaced by a deep sense of gratitude and peace. Mindfulness is also a practice of non-attachment. It teaches you not to hold on to any particular thought, emotion, or experience. You begin to understand that everything is impermanent. The negative thoughts you experience today will not last forever. They too will pass. By practicing non-attachment, you create space for new, positive experiences to enter your life. As you continue to practice mindfulness, you will notice a shift in how you respond to the world around you. You will no longer be reactive, jumping from one emotion to the next. Instead, you will become more present, more peaceful, and more aware of your thoughts and actions. The negativity that once seemed overwhelming will lose its power over you. It will no longer control your mind. And so, the key to removing negativity from your mind lies in mindfulness. It is the practice of being fully aware, of observing your thoughts without judgment, and of letting go of what no longer serves you. In this awareness, you will find the freedom to live a life of peace and clarity, free from the grip of negativity. With each mindful breath, you are one step closer to a mind that is clear, calm, and filled with light. Cultivating compassion to overcome negativity. In the stillness of a moment, have you ever wondered what it feels like to truly let go of all the negativity in your heart? To release the anger, the grudges, the resentment that weigh you down? What if, instead of holding on to these heavy emotions, you could replace them with compassion toward yourself and others? Compassion is like a soft, healing balm that can soothe the wounds of the heart. And it is through compassion that we begin to see beyond the negativity in our minds. You see, when negativity takes root in our hearts, it often stems from a place of pain. Perhaps you've been hurt by someone's words or actions. Maybe you feel misunderstood or judged. These feelings are natural, but when we hold on to them, they create walls within us. We become trapped in our own bitterness, and that bitterness clouds our minds and hearts. But there's a beautiful way to dissolve these walls, and that is through compassion. Compassion allows us to release the negativity, not just toward others, but toward ourselves too. When we are compassionate, we understand that we, too, are imperfect. Just like everyone else, we experience pain and disappointment. It's important to remember that being kind to yourself is the first step to removing the negativity that dwells within. Imagine a heart filled with compassion. Instead of seeing someone who wronged you as an enemy, you see them as a fellow traveler on this journey of life. They, too, have their struggles, their pain, their wounds. In this way, you begin to see the humanity in others, and that understanding softens the harshness in your own heart. Compassion teaches us to forgive, not because the other person deserves forgiveness, but because we deserve peace. This practice of compassion is not just a fleeting thought or a kind gesture. It is a deep, inner understanding that we are all interconnected. When you develop compassion, you no longer view others through the lens of judgment or anger. Instead, you begin to understand that everyone, including yourself, is deserving of love and kindness. This mindset is the key to overcoming the negativity that clouds your mind. In Buddhism, the idea of metta, or loving kindness, is central to cultivating compassion. Metta is the practice of extending goodwill, kindness, and warmth to all living beings, starting with yourself. It's not about feeling sorry for someone or pitying them, but truly wishing for their happiness and well-being. When you practice metta, you create a vast, open space in your heart, a space where negativity cannot thrive. How can you begin to cultivate compassion in your own life? It starts with small steps. Every time a negative thought arises, pause for a moment and ask yourself, what would compassion look like here? If someone has hurt you, instead of reacting with anger or frustration, try to respond with understanding. Recognize that they, too, are human, and their actions come from their own pain and suffering. Sometimes, the hardest person to be compassionate toward is ourselves. We all have moments of self-doubt, guilt, or regret. But when we practice compassion for ourselves, we allow ourselves the grace to heal and grow. Forgive yourself for the mistakes you've made, and be gentle with your heart. You are worthy of love, and you deserve peace. Another powerful tool for cultivating compassion is mindfulness. By being present in the moment, we become more aware of our thoughts and emotions. Instead of reacting automatically with anger or frustration, we can choose to respond with compassion. When we are mindful, we are able to recognize the negativity within us and take a step back before letting it control our actions. This is where the true power of compassion lies, when we can choose kindness over reactivity. Imagine walking through your day with a heart full of compassion. Every encounter becomes an opportunity to practice kindness, not just toward others, but also toward yourself. When someone cuts you off in traffic, instead of feeling anger rising within you, you could choose to wish them well, to understand that perhaps they are in a hurry, just like you. This small shift in perspective can make a huge difference in how you experience the world around you. Compassion is also deeply connected to patience. Patience allows us to give others, and ourselves, space to grow and learn. It's easy to become frustrated when things don't go as planned, or when others don't meet our expectations. But when we practice patience, we accept that things unfold in their own time. We no longer feel the need to control or manipulate situations. Instead, we allow life to flow naturally, with all its ups and downs. The more you cultivate compassion, the more you begin to notice the subtle ways in which it changes your life. You'll begin to feel lighter, freer, and more at peace. Your relationships will deepen, because you'll approach others with empathy and understanding, rather than judgment. And, most importantly, you will find that the negativity that once consumed you will begin to fade, replaced by a sense of connection and love. In the practice of compassion, there is no right or wrong way to feel. Some days, you might find it easier to be compassionate, and other days, it might feel like a struggle. But that's okay. The important thing is to keep trying, to keep coming back to the practice, no matter how small the step. Over time, compassion becomes a natural part of who you are, and the negativity that once held you back will have no place in your heart. So, as you move forward in your journey, remember that compassion is not just a practice, but a way of being. It's a mindset that transforms not only your relationships with others, but also your relationship with yourself. By cultivating compassion, you free yourself from the chains of negativity and open your heart to the peace that resides within. The power of gratitude in daily life. Gratitude is a simple yet profound practice. In a world full of distractions and demands, it's easy to forget the little blessings that fill our lives. But in Buddhism, gratitude is a powerful tool for shifting our focus from what we lack to what we have. When we practice gratitude, we train our minds to see abundance instead of scarcity. It opens our hearts to the present moment and helps us connect more deeply with ourselves and the world around us. Imagine waking up in the morning and feeling thankful for the simple things: your breath, the warmth of the sun, the food you have, or the people you love. Gratitude doesn't require grand gestures or extraordinary events. It's in the quiet, everyday moments that we find its true power. The Buddhist teachings remind us that each moment is a gift, and recognizing that can change the way we experience life. When negativity takes hold of our minds, we often focus on what's wrong. Our attention shifts to our problems, fears, and insecurities. But gratitude shifts that focus. It's like a light that dispels the darkness. When we consciously remind ourselves of the good things in our lives, the negative thoughts lose their grip. Our minds become clearer, and our hearts become lighter. Take a moment to think about something you're grateful for right now. It could be something as simple as a cup of tea, a friend who listens, or the ability to walk. In Buddhism, we are encouraged to recognize these small blessings and hold them in our hearts. The act of giving thanks, even for the tiniest things, strengthens our connection to life itself. It creates a sense of peace, reminding us that even in challenging times, there is always something to appreciate. As you begin to practice gratitude, you may notice a shift in your perspective. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by what's wrong, you'll start to notice what's right. Your problems may not disappear, but your ability to cope with them improves. Gratitude doesn't just help us feel better. It changes the way we respond to life. It teaches us to stop searching for happiness outside of ourselves and to cultivate it from within. Buddhism teaches that gratitude is not just a mental exercise, but a way of being. It's about adopting a mindset that sees the world with a heart full of thanks. When we truly embody gratitude, it affects everything we do. It shapes how we interact with others, how we view our challenges, and how we find meaning in our lives. Gratitude transforms our outlook, turning even ordinary moments into extraordinary ones. The practice of gratitude can also help you develop a deep sense of humility. In a culture that often encourages us to strive for more, to compete, or to compare ourselves with others, gratitude teaches us to pause and appreciate what we already have. It reminds us that enough is enough. There is no need to constantly chase after something more or something better. Gratitude helps us become content with the present moment, finding richness in what is already here. In Buddhism, the idea of right view is central. It's the understanding that life is impermanent and that suffering is part of the human experience. When we view life through the lens of gratitude, we begin to see even our challenges as opportunities for growth. Instead of complaining about difficulties, we learn to see them as part of the natural flow of life. Gratitude helps us accept the present moment without judgment or resistance. One way to begin integrating gratitude into your daily life is by starting each day with a simple gratitude practice. You don't need anything special to do this, just a moment of quiet reflection. As you wake up, take a deep breath and think of 3 things you're thankful for. They can be small or big, as long as they're sincere. This simple practice can set the tone for your day and shift your energy from lack to abundance. As you go about your day, try to notice the moments of beauty and joy that surround you. It could be the sound of birds singing, a smile from a stranger, or a kind word from a friend. The more you notice, the more you'll find to be grateful for. These moments may be fleeting, but when you pause to appreciate them, they become meaningful. Gratitude transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. In moments of stress or negativity, a quick shift to gratitude can ground you. Instead of spiraling into negative thought patterns, stop and ask yourself, what can I be thankful for right now? Even if you're feeling overwhelmed or frustrated, there's always something to appreciate. Maybe it's the fact that you're still breathing, or that you have the strength to face whatever challenges lie ahead. By practicing gratitude in these moments, you create a mental shift that can pull you out of negativity and into a state of calm. Gratitude also nurtures our relationships. When we express thanks to others, we not only make them feel valued, but we also open our hearts to connection. It's easy to take people for granted, but when we show appreciation, we strengthen the bond between us. In Buddhism, loving kindness and compassion are essential qualities. Gratitude is an extension of these qualities, as it fosters a sense of interconnectedness with others. One of the beautiful aspects of gratitude is that it's a practice that grows stronger over time. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes to see the good in every situation. You begin to notice how deeply connected you are to the world around you, and how much you have to be thankful for. Gratitude doesn't just improve our mental state, it enhances our entire experience of life. It's a practice that continues to give back the more we invest in it. The teachings of Buddhism show us that happiness doesn't come from external circumstances. It arises from within. Gratitude is a key to unlocking that inner happiness. By choosing to focus on the good, we cultivate contentment and joy in the present moment. It's a way of reminding ourselves that no matter what happens, we always have something to be grateful for. In closing, gratitude is not a one-time fix for negativity. It's a lifelong practice that can transform every aspect of your life. It's about training the mind to focus on the positive and creating a heart full of appreciation. By practicing gratitude, you open the door to a life filled with peace, joy, and connection. It's a simple, yet powerful way to remove negativity and invite positivity into your life. Through this practice, you'll discover a deep sense of contentment, a lasting sense of inner peace, and an abundance of blessings that you might have overlooked before. Gratitude is a key to unlocking the true potential of your mind, and as you embrace it, you'll experience a shift in your perspective that will carry you through every challenge with grace and strength, releasing attachments that bind you. To understand how to remove negativity from our minds, we must first understand the nature of attachment. Attachments are like chains that bind us to things, people, and ideas that no longer serve us. These attachments can be to material possessions, past relationships, past events, or even expectations about the future. Just as a tree grows heavy with fruit, our minds grow heavy with these attachments. The more we cling, the more we suffer. In Buddhism, the concept of attachment is central to understanding the root of suffering. Buddha taught that life is full of change, and nothing lasts forever. Yet, our attachments make us believe that things, whether external or internal, should remain as they are. This belief creates an internal conflict. For example, if you're holding on tightly to a past failure, it's like carrying a rock in your pocket. The longer you carry it, the heavier it becomes, even though you could easily put it down. Imagine a stream of water. If you place a stone in the stream, the water can no longer flow freely. It is blocked. In the same way, when we cling to attachments, our minds become blocked, and our true nature of peace and clarity is hindered. The stream must be cleared to flow freely again, and so too must our minds be freed from attachment to experience true peace. So how do we release these attachments? The first step is awareness. When you feel a sense of attachment, pause for a moment and observe it. Ask yourself, what am I holding on to, and why? Is it a thought, a belief, or an object? Understanding the source of attachment is the first step toward letting it go. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring, or that you abandon what is important to you. Instead, it means not allowing these things to control you. It's like holding a cup of tea. You can hold it gently in your hands, but if you grip it too tightly, your hand will start to hurt. When we release the grip, the pain disappears. The same is true with attachment. When you let go of the need to control or possess, you feel lighter and freer. Buddha often spoke about the importance of non-attachment. It's important to recognize that attachment isn't just about material things. It's also about our desires, opinions, and even the images we hold about ourselves. We may cling to the idea of being successful, or we may attach ourselves to certain identities or roles, such as, I am a teacher, or I am a failure. But these labels are fleeting and temporary. They don't define who we are at the core. Think of your mind as a garden. If you keep planting seeds of attachment, weeds will grow and choke the life out of the flowers. However, if you let go of those seeds and allow your mind to be free of attachments, the garden flourishes. The flowers of peace, joy, and clarity can bloom without interference. Now, consider the present moment. The present is all we truly have, but attachments pull us into the past or the future. We might think about a conversation from days ago, or worry about an event that may happen tomorrow. Both of these take us away from the present moment, which is the only place where peace resides. Letting go of attachment means living fully in the here and now. It's about being present with whatever is happening at this very moment without judgment or worry. One of the most profound practices in Buddhism for releasing attachments is meditation. In meditation, you can observe your thoughts without becoming attached to them. Just like clouds passing by in the sky, your thoughts come and go. You don't need to grasp at them. By sitting quietly and observing the flow of thoughts, you learn not to identify with them. Over time, you become less attached to your thoughts, and your mind becomes clearer. This practice of mindfulness helps us detach from the constant noise of our thoughts. When you are mindful, you are fully present in whatever you are doing, whether it's washing dishes, walking, or listening to someone. When you bring awareness to the task at hand, there is no room for attachment to the past or future. The mind becomes peaceful, and negativity is replaced with clarity. Another powerful way to release attachments is through compassion. When we become attached to our ideas, beliefs, or possessions, we often lose sight of others. Compassion teaches us to let go of the need to control or possess, and instead, we open our hearts to others. By seeing the world through the eyes of compassion, we begin to release the grip we have on our own desires. We understand that the happiness of others is just as important as our own. Letting go also involves accepting the impermanence of life. Everything in this world is in a constant state of flux. People come and go, seasons change, and nothing stays the same forever. Holding on to the idea that things should remain as they are only leads to suffering. By accepting the impermanence of all things, we can live more peacefully. This doesn't mean we become indifferent or detached from life. On the contrary, it means we can fully embrace life as it is, knowing that change is a natural part of existence. A practical example of releasing attachments is letting go of a grudge. Perhaps someone has wronged you, and you've held on to that hurt for years. Every time you think about it, you feel anger or resentment. But by holding on to that grudge, you only hurt yourself. The other person may have moved on, but you remain trapped in the past. To release this attachment, you can practice forgiveness. Forgiveness doesn't mean you condone the wrong, but it means you free yourself from the negative emotions tied to the past. In doing so, you release the attachment to the hurt and make room for healing. One way to begin practicing non-attachment is to observe how you react when things don't go as planned. Do you become upset, frustrated, or anxious? These reactions often reveal our attachments to specific outcomes. For instance, if you expect something to happen a certain way and it doesn't, it can feel like a personal failure. But this attachment to outcomes is not the path to peace. Learning to flow with life's unpredictability, accepting both the good and the bad, brings freedom to the mind. As you practice releasing attachments, remember that it is a gradual process. It takes time and patience. It's like learning to walk. At first, you may stumble, but with persistence, you gain confidence and balance. The more you practice letting go, the more natural it becomes. You begin to realize that you are not defined by the things you hold on to, but by your ability to let go and live freely. In the end, the key to releasing attachments is understanding that you are not your possessions, your thoughts, or your past. You are the observer of these things, and by releasing them, you return to your true nature, which is pure and free. Letting go is not about loss. It is about making space for something greater. It is about making space for peace, joy, and clarity to enter your life. By releasing attachments, you clear the path for positivity to flow into your mind. You allow yourself to be present, peaceful, and free from the chains that bind you. This is the way of the Buddha: letting go, being free, and finding true happiness, transforming negative energy into positive action. Imagine this. You're sitting by a river, watching the water flow gently by. As you focus, you notice the water flowing in one direction, seemingly without effort. It's peaceful, effortless, and yet powerful. The water never resists its natural flow, and in doing so, it keeps moving forward. This is how our energy works. Just like the river, we too can let our energy flow in a positive direction, transforming negativity into something powerful and purposeful. In our daily lives, we often encounter moments of negativity. It may come in the form of anger, frustration, fear, or doubt. These feelings can weigh us down, blocking our path and making it hard to move forward. But here's the key. Negativity is not something that should stop us. Instead, it can be the starting point for something much greater: positive action. In Buddhism, it's believed that everything we experience can be transformed. Just as a lotus flower grows from the muddy water, we too can rise above the negativity we face. The mud doesn't prevent the flower from blooming, it nourishes it. Similarly, the negative experiences in life, while difficult, can serve as the fertile ground for personal growth and transformation. The first step in transforming negative energy into positive action is awareness. Often, we go through life on autopilot, reacting to situations without much thought. But when we become aware of our thoughts and emotions, we can start to see them for what they are, not permanent parts of us, but passing experiences. This awareness gives us the power to change our response. Instead of allowing negative emotions to control us, we can choose to redirect that energy towards something more productive. One way to do this is through mindful breathing. When you feel negative emotions rising within you, take a moment to breathe deeply. Inhale slowly, hold for a moment, and then exhale. This simple act helps to center your mind, bringing you back to the present moment. As you focus on your breath, you'll find that your mind becomes clearer and more focused. The negativity begins to fade, replaced by a sense of calm and control. Another practice that can help transform negativity is meditation. Meditation is a powerful tool in Buddhism, helping us to quiet the mind and gain insight into the nature of our thoughts. When you meditate, you create space between your thoughts. This space allows you to observe the negativity without becoming attached to it. You learn that negative thoughts are just thoughts, fleeting and temporary. They do not define you. Through meditation, you can begin to shift your focus away from negativity and toward the positive aspects of your life. Sometimes, negativity comes from our attachments. We become attached to certain outcomes, people, or possessions, and when things don't go as we expect, we feel disappointment, anger, or frustration. In Buddhism, Attachment is seen as a source of suffering. The key to transforming this negativity is learning to let go. When you let go of the need to control everything and accept things as they are, you free yourself from the grip of negativity. You begin to see the world with fresh eyes, no longer burdened by expectations. One of the most transformative ways to turn negative energy into positive action is through the practice of compassion. When we experience negativity, it's often because we are focused on our own suffering. We may feel hurt, angry, or fearful because we are thinking about ourselves and our own needs. But by turning our attention to others, we can transform our energy. Compassion allows us to step outside of our own experience and offer kindness to others. It may seem counterintuitive, but when we focus on helping others, our own negative emotions begin to dissipate. The act of kindness creates a ripple effect, not only transforming the lives of others, but also healing our own hearts. In addition to compassion, another important tool for transforming negative energy is gratitude. In times of struggle, it's easy to focus on what's wrong, what we lack, or what we wish we had. But shifting our focus to what we are grateful for can instantly change our perspective. Gratitude has the power to lift us out of negativity and open our hearts to the abundance that already exists in our lives. Start by taking a moment each day to reflect on what you are thankful for. It could be as simple as the warmth of the sun on your face or the support of a loved one. As you practice gratitude, you'll begin to notice that your mind naturally gravitates toward positivity. Positive action doesn't always require grand gestures. Sometimes, the smallest actions can have the greatest impact. A smile, a kind word, or a moment of patience can all serve as powerful forms of positive energy. These small actions, when done with sincerity, create a ripple effect, spreading positivity to everyone around you. In Buddhism, it's said that even the smallest good deed can change the course of a person's life. When we transform our negative energy into these small acts of kindness, we contribute to the overall well-being of the world. As you begin to practice transforming negativity into positive action, remember that it's not about being perfect. There will be times when negativity arises, and that's okay. The key is to be gentle with yourself, recognize the negativity without judgment, and then gently redirect your energy towards something more positive. This practice is a process, not a destination. With each step, you are cultivating a more positive and peaceful mind. Ultimately, transforming negative energy into positive action is about shifting your mindset. Instead of seeing obstacles as barriers, you begin to view them as opportunities for growth. You learn to embrace challenges with an open heart, knowing that every experience, whether positive or negative, is a chance to learn and grow. This mindset is what allows you to move through life with a sense of peace, knowing that you are always in control of your own energy. The journey of transformation is not always easy, but it is always worth it. Each step you take toward turning negativity into positive action brings you closer to the person you are meant to be. It's a path of self-discovery, compassion, and growth. As you continue on this path, you'll find that negativity has less and less power over you. Instead, you'll be filled with the strength, peace, and positivity that come from transforming your energy and your life. The role of meditation in mental clarity. Let us begin, as the Zen masters do, with stillness. The world spins around us, filled with noise, distractions, and endless thoughts. Yet, within this chaos, there is a place of quiet within you. Meditation is the doorway to this peaceful space. It is not a retreat from reality, but a way to engage with it more clearly. You may ask, what is meditation, really? It is not some mystical practice or something only for monks. Meditation is simply the art of focusing your mind and cultivating awareness of the present moment. It's about bringing your attention away from the noise of your thoughts and the distractions around you, so you can truly experience what is happening right now. Imagine you are standing by a river, watching the water flow gently. Your thoughts are like leaves on the surface of that water, constantly moving, always shifting. When you meditate, you learn to observe the leaves, but you don't try to chase them. You allow them to pass by, knowing that they will fade away. The more you practice this, the clearer the water becomes. And in that clarity, you find peace. Meditation is not a tool for escaping from life. It is a practice for coming back to life. It helps you see things as they truly are, not as you wish them to be, and certainly not through the lens of your worries and fears. It is a way of clearing the fog from your mind and experiencing the world with fresh eyes. One might wonder, how do I start? Is it difficult? The answer is simple. Start by sitting down, closing your eyes, and taking a deep breath. Focus on that breath and allow yourself to be present. When thoughts arise, don't fight them. Don't try to push them away. Just notice them, and then gently return your focus to your breath. In this way, you begin to train your mind to rest in the present moment. Many people think meditation is about emptying the mind of all thoughts, but that is not the goal. Instead, the goal is to become aware of your thoughts without being controlled by them. Meditation gives you the space to observe your thoughts, feelings, and reactions without judgment. It is the moment when you step back and realize that you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind them. In Buddhism, meditation is often called mindfulness. This term might sound simple, but it holds profound meaning. It is about being fully present with whatever you are doing. Whether you are eating, walking, or simply breathing, mindfulness teaches you to focus on the here and now. When you practice mindfulness, you stop allowing your mind to wander into the past or the future. You bring all your attention to the present moment, and in doing so, you create space for mental clarity. A key part of meditation is learning to breathe deeply and slowly. Breathing is the link between your body and your mind. When your breath is calm, your mind becomes calm. When your breath is shallow, your mind races. Breathing deeply anchors you in the present, allowing you to find peace even in the most stressful situations. In the beginning, you may find it difficult to sit still. Your mind may race with thoughts, and you may feel restless. This is normal, but with time, you will begin to notice the spaces between your thoughts. These spaces are where the clarity lies. It is in these moments of stillness that you can find the peace you seek. Meditation helps you to embrace these moments, and with practice, they will become more frequent. You don't need to meditate for hours to experience its benefits. Even just a few minutes each day can bring profound changes to your mental clarity. As you continue to practice, you will begin to notice that your mind is no longer cluttered with negative thoughts. Instead, you will feel more focused, more aware, and more at peace with yourself and the world around you. The beauty of meditation is that it teaches you to embrace the present moment without judgment. Many of us spend our days thinking about what went wrong in the past or worrying about what might happen in the future. Meditation teaches you that the present moment is all you have, and in that moment, you can find everything you need. One of the most powerful aspects of meditation is that it helps you detach from the constant flow of thoughts. Thoughts are like clouds passing through the sky. They come and go, but they do not define you. Meditation helps you recognize that you are the sky, vast, open, and unchanging, while your thoughts are just passing clouds. You learn to let go of them without holding on to them. When you meditate, you begin to notice how often your mind is filled with negative or unhelpful thoughts. You might find yourself thinking about past mistakes, future anxieties, or worries about things you cannot control. Meditation doesn't stop these thoughts from arising, but it gives you the ability to observe them without being swept away by them. Over time, you begin to let go of these thoughts and replace them with thoughts that serve your well-being. You may also discover that meditation helps you connect with your true self. So often, we are caught up in our identities, our roles, our past, our future. But through meditation, we come to realize that our true self is beyond these labels. We are not defined by our thoughts or our circumstances. Meditation helps us reconnect with the quiet wisdom that lies deep within. When you meditate, you also begin to develop a sense of compassion, not just for others, but for yourself as well. As you learn to observe your thoughts without judgment, you also learn to accept yourself as you are. This self-compassion is a powerful antidote to negativity. It allows you to release the harsh self-criticism that often fuels negative thoughts and emotions. Meditation is also about learning to let go. We hold on to so many things in life: our past, our regrets, our expectations for the future. But when you meditate, you begin to realize that holding on only causes suffering. Letting go allows you to experience the freedom that comes with living in the present. In this freedom, you find peace and clarity. Finally, Meditation teaches you to see the interconnectedness of all things. It helps you realize that you are not separate from the world around you. When you practice meditation, you develop a sense of unity with all living beings. You begin to understand that your thoughts, your actions, and your words have an impact on the world, and you learn to act with greater awareness and compassion. Through meditation, you cultivate a deep sense of inner peace. This peace is not dependent on external circumstances. It is an unshakable calm that arises from within. As you continue to meditate, this peace will grow, and you will find that your mind becomes more clear, your heart more open, and your life more filled with joy. The power of meditation lies in its simplicity. You don't need anything special to meditate. All you need is your breath, your mind, and your willingness to be present. In this simplicity, you find the wisdom of the ages, a wisdom that has been passed down through generations of meditators and Zen masters. As you continue to meditate, you will notice that your mind becomes less cluttered, less distracted, and less reactive. The negativity that once dominated your thoughts will slowly fade away, replaced by a sense of calm and clarity. You will find that you are more resilient in the face of challenges, more compassionate towards yourself and others, and more at peace with the world. Meditation is a lifelong practice, but with each moment of stillness, you move closer to the clarity and peace that are your birthright. It is through meditation that you begin to see the world as it truly is, not as a source of stress and chaos, but as a place of beauty and tranquility. In the end, meditation is not about achieving something. It is about realizing that everything you need is already within you. The stillness, the clarity, the peace, they are all here, waiting for you to notice. And when you do, you will find that your mind becomes a place of serenity, free from the negative thoughts that once clouded your vision. So, let us sit together, breathe deeply, and embrace the stillness. For in this quiet, we find the clarity that leads to a peaceful, joyful life. The joy of living in the present moment. In life, we often find ourselves caught in a web of thoughts, regrets about the past and worries about the future. These thoughts cloud our mind, pulling us away from the only reality that truly exists, the present moment. But what if, just for a moment, we let go of all that? What if we allowed ourselves to simply be here, in this very moment, free from distractions? The present moment is where life happens. It is the only place where we can truly experience joy, peace, and contentment. When we look back at the past, we may feel sorrow or regret, thinking about the mistakes we made or opportunities we missed. When we look ahead, we may feel anxiety about what could happen, about things that are yet to unfold. But all of this is happening outside of the present moment. The past is gone, and the future is uncertain. Only now, right now, is real. Buddhism teaches us that living in the present moment is the key to finding peace and freedom. The more we focus on the present, the more we can let go of negative emotions like anger, fear, and anxiety. In fact, much of our suffering comes from dwelling in the past or worrying about the future. The mind races, jumping from thought to thought, and we forget the simple truth. The present is all we have. To truly experience the joy of the present moment, we must learn to let go. Let go of past hurts, let go of future fears, and let go of the need to control everything. Life is unpredictable, and no matter how hard we try, we cannot change what has already happened, nor can we control what is yet to come. But we can choose how we respond to each moment. Take a moment to stop and breathe. Notice the world around you, the sounds, the smells, the sensations. Feel the air on your skin, the ground beneath your feet. When we are fully present, we can experience the beauty of life in a way that is not possible when our minds are distracted. Living in the present moment does not mean ignoring the past or the future. It means accepting them for what they are. The past has already shaped who we are, and the future is full of possibilities. But neither of these should take us away from the here and now. The present moment is where we have the power to act, to make choices, and to find peace. It is where we can truly connect with ourselves and with others. In our daily lives, it can be easy to become overwhelmed by everything we think we need to do. We rush through our tasks, constantly thinking about what comes next, and before we know it, we've missed the joy that exists in the present moment. But when we practice mindfulness, we slow down. We pay attention to each step we take, each breath we inhale, each word we speak. In this way, we bring ourselves back to the present, and in doing so, we open the door to peace and happiness. Buddhism often uses the metaphor of a lotus flower to describe the present moment. Just as the lotus grows out of muddy waters, so too can we find peace and beauty in the midst of life's challenges. The lotus is a symbol of purity and enlightenment, and it teaches us that even in the darkest moments, we can rise up and find clarity. When we live in the present, we are not distracted by the noise of the past or the future. We are fully aware of what is happening in our lives right now. This awareness brings a deep sense of peace. We stop fighting against the flow of life and instead learn to go with it. When we let go of our attachment to outcomes and simply enjoy the process, life becomes much more fulfilling. Another important aspect of living in the present moment is the practice of gratitude. When we are truly present, we begin to notice the many blessings we have in our lives. We stop taking things for granted and start appreciating even the smallest things. The warmth of the sun on our face, the sound of birds singing, the taste of a simple meal. These moments, when fully appreciated, can bring us deep joy. The joy of living in the present moment is not about escaping our problems or pretending that everything is perfect. It is about accepting life as it is, right now, and finding peace in that acceptance. Even when things are difficult, we can choose to be present with our feelings, with our thoughts, and with the reality of the situation. In this way, we take away the power that negative emotions have over us. We stop reacting and start living. When we live in the present, we also begin to let go of judgment. Often, we judge ourselves for past mistakes, or we judge others for things that they may have done. But judgment only keeps us trapped in negativity. It prevents us from seeing things as they truly are. When we let go of judgment, we open our hearts to compassion, both for ourselves and for others. We begin to see the world with clarity and understanding, free from the distortions of our own biases. To practice living in the present, we don't need to make drastic changes in our lives. We don't need to quit our jobs, move to a new place, or change everything about who we are. All we need to do is practice mindfulness in every moment. Start by simply paying attention to your breath. Notice the rise and fall of your chest, the sensation of air moving in and out of your body. When your mind wanders, gently bring it back to the present, without judgment or frustration. The more we practice living in the present, the easier it becomes. We begin to notice the beauty and peace that surrounds us, even in the most ordinary moments. Life becomes richer, more fulfilling, and more meaningful. The more we let go of the past and future, the more we are able to experience life fully, with all of its joys and challenges. In the end, the joy of living in the present moment is the joy of being alive. It is the joy of embracing each moment as it comes, without clinging to the past or worrying about the future. When we live in the present, we are truly free. We are free from the weight of negativity, free from the burden of regret, and free from the fear of what might come. We are simply here, now, in this beautiful moment. This is the gift of the present, and it is available to us all. By learning to live in the present moment, we can experience the peace, joy, and freedom that come with it. It is a practice that, when nurtured, will transform our lives from the inside out. Embracing positivity, a life transformed. Dear seeker, you have walked far on this path. You've explored the roots of negativity, learned to let go, and uncovered the light within you. Now, we come to the final step, a step not away from the journey but into it, fully and freely. This is where we embrace positivity, not as a fleeting feeling, but as a way of living. Let me ask you something. What is positivity to you? Is it happiness? Is it peace? Or is it something deeper? In truth, positivity is the state of your mind when it is free from the burdens of judgment, anger, and fear. It is the space you create when you let go of what holds you down. Think of a garden, overgrown with weeds. Those weeds are your doubts, your worries, and your regrets. For so long, you have been pulling them out, one by one. And now, look at the space you have made. This is where your flowers of positivity can bloom. The first step to embracing positivity is to cultivate it daily. It is not enough to know it exists. You must nurture it. like a gardener tends to their plants. How do you do this? Start with gratitude. Every day, find one thing to be grateful for. It could be the warmth of the sun, the kindness of a stranger, or even the breath that flows through your body. Gratitude opens the door to positivity. Another way to live in positivity is to practice compassion. When you look at others, do not see their faults or their mistakes. See their struggle, their humanity. When you can understand others without judgment, your heart softens and positivity flows naturally. But positivity is not only about others, it is about how you see yourself. Let go of the harsh words you speak to yourself. Forgive yourself for your past. Accept who you are, fully and completely. You are not your mistakes. You are not your doubts. You are the awareness behind them. Remember, the present moment is your greatest ally. Positivity cannot live in the past or the future. It thrives in the now. When you find your mind drifting to regrets or worries, gently bring it back to the present. Ask yourself, what is true right now? The answer will always guide you to peace. Let me tell you a story. Once, a student came to me and said, "Master, my mind is filled with darkness. How can I find light?" I handed him a candle and said, "Light this and carry it with you." He did so, and as the flame grew brighter, his face lit up with understanding. "Master," he said, "the light was always within me. I only needed to uncover it." You are that student. The light is within you. You do not need to search for it outside. Every act of kindness, every moment of gratitude, every breath of awareness uncovers that light a little more. Positivity is not a destination. It is a way of traveling. Some days, the road will be smooth, and positivity will flow easily. Other days, it will feel like climbing a steep hill. But even then, take one step at a time. Trust that each step is part of your journey. As you move forward, remember this. You are not alone. Each person watching this video, each person practicing these teachings, is walking this path with you. Together, we are building a world of light, one step at a time. Thank you for joining us on this journey. This is not an end. It is a beginning. Carry these teachings with you, share them with others, and watch how positivity transforms not just your life but the lives of those around you. Before you go, I have one last request. There are so many views on this channel, but only 0.2% of people subscribe. If this video has brought even a little light into your life, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Woven. Your support helps us continue sharing these messages of peace and wisdom. Now, go forth with a clear mind and an open heart. The light is within you. Embrace it, live it, and let it shine for the world to see.